Cyprus has been part of this European Union.
Yes.
You know, we've gone around and we've asked people questions. What's the positive impact the EU has brought to Cyprus as a country?
Legislation, first of all. Very good legislation. Very good legislation in areas that were not good before, like the environment. There is more protection now of the environment, human rights, consumer rights. There is also, we are participating in many programs implemented by the European Union, youth programs, women's programs, workers programs, students programs, and this exposes the people and the citizens of Cyprus to the cultures and the opinions of a much bigger area. So there is interaction with other countries, and of course leadership can be taught, but leadership in practice is much better. When you participate, you can acquire what a leader requires to move on. So in my opinion, participation is the most important thing, and Europe is about participation. It's about sharing, it's about understanding, it's about acceptance. In Europe, when you are participating in the decision-making process, it's not about you winning and the other to lose. That's not the case with Europe. In Europe, you learn the art of compromise, as we say. In Europe, you have to learn that you start from your position, but somewhere you have to compromise if you want what we call the European project to move forward. It's not a battle of losers and winners. It's a battle that all of us will take the European Union a bit further, and this is what the members of the Parliament are doing, actually.
Okay, can you said something about youth, because that's our focus. You know, so what are some of the programs that has been enshrined to help the youth in terms of awareness?
I will tell you what the European Parliament and the European Union in general do, some of the programs. For example, we have what we call Euroscholar. Euroscholar is a program organized by the European Parliament addressed to the young people of 16 to 18. Every month we take a group of students to the European Parliament and they become members of the Parliament for one day. So they play their own, they have questions, they have issues to discuss, and they play the member of Parliament for one day, which is very good for people who want to get into politics. Before they go, of course, we educate them, we speak to them, we explain the functioning of the European Union. Another program which I find that is very important is what we call Erasmus Plus. Erasmus Plus is a program addressed inter alia to students, and they give you the opportunity to study for 1 year in another European country. So this immediately exposes the young people to the culture, the language, and the way of thinking of another country, and it's a very good experience to have for leaders. Because you learn to understand that you are not alone in the world. There are other people that you have to communicate with them, you have to reach out, you have to talk to them, you have to understand them. And this is a very good thing, but there are thousands of programs. It's Europe, Citizens for Europe, for example. It's one program that NGOs, youth NGOs, they can apply and they can implement a lot of programs. There are human rights programs, there are women's programs that all youth and young people organizations, they can participate with their proposals. In Europe, if you have a good proposal and you write a good proposition, then you can participate in many things. It's a very inclusive culture.
Okay, no, but you see, there is something based on what you said in terms of the schools, you know, many schools, because we've seen some schools outside Nicosia, I don't know, they actually don't get, because this is a huge information given to us, and I believe they didn't know about this, you know. And many schools don't know, or the students per se, they don't have idea about this information. How can they get access to things like this?
First of all, in order to learn about things, you have to listen. Which means that, first, if you never listen to the news, if you never watch news on the TV, if you never watch TV shows, if you don't listen to the radio, if you don't read newspapers, you are never going to learn about these things, because these things, they cannot fall from the sky on
Exactly.
You have to be open up. You have to open up to information, when I was young, there was no information going around. Now the information is all there on the internet. And I have to tell you something. The European Union is a very transparent organization. The European Parliament has an internet site that you can find everything. All the decisions, all the proposals, all legislation under examination, everything is there. Our names, the people who can help you, the members, what the members are doing, it's everything there. So if you are interested, if you want to learn about the European Union, I think it's one of the most easiest things to do.
Okay.
But nobody's going to plant it in anybody's head.
Now,
We are trying to reach out to young people particularly. Our office organizes programs for the schools. We have a lot of collaboration with the Ministry of Education. We have a lot of schools participating in various initiatives like the European Parliament Ambassador School. We have 15 schools that this year they want to become the European Parliament Ambassador Schools. So they are implementing a program the year around with their students in order to be able to be called European Parliament Ambassador School. I go to the universities, we speak to the students of journalism, we speak to students. Whenever we are invited by youth organizations, we go and speak to them. I was in a panel a few days ago about how citizens can participate in the decision-making process of the European Union. It's very easy because the consultation with the citizens process is open to all citizens. It's open to NGOs and to civil society organizations. From the moment they are thinking at the European Union level, at the Commission, to propose legislation, they start to discuss with organized stakeholders and citizens in order to write down a legislation proposal that is going to be submitted to the Parliament and the Council for approval. We have hearings at the Parliament for important things. We have also chats on the Facebook that these young people can chat with the rapporteur who is going to navigate the legislation through the Parliament for the approval of the plenary session. There are various stages of consultation that citizens can really participate, but also the European Union gives you the opportunity, if you very much believe that we need a legislation in one of the areas of the competence of the European Union, then you have to convince some other people from 1/4 of the countries of the European Union, which is now it's 7 countries. So let me tell you something. If I believe that we have to promote a legislation that in all ballots, 50% must be women. If I want to promote this, I have to consult with other organizations in at least another 7 countries, and then we will sign a petition. It's called Citizens Initiative. Send it to the Commission. If the Commission decides that this is applicable, it's acceptable, then it will have to write a proposition to the Parliament. It's a legislation proposition to the Parliament and the Council. So citizens are encouraged by many instruments that the European Union has incorporated in its treaties to participate. It's up to the citizens to make use of these instruments.
Okay. Now, I just want to say something, because most of the things you said, they are kind of shifting towards education. Is there any non-formal, means the EU is using to attract the youth? Any non-formal method, apart from educational means or school, associational things?
Yeah, the European Union, what it does, it supports many youth initiatives. For example, once a year we organize what we call Youth Days in Strasbourg. More than 7,000 young people from all over Europe met, discussed, made proposals to the leaders of the European Union. What what do they want from this European Union? What do they want? What Europe they want? And these propositions are taken very seriously, of course, by the leaders of the European Union. This is one of the initiatives, but there are thousands of initiatives. We have, for example, Charlemagne
Prize. Charlemagne Prize is a prize addressed to the young people of the European Union. And if you have a proposal, if you are running a project, like this one, what you are doing, if you want, you can submit this project to the European Parliament, and if it's selected, it's going to receive a prize.
The Charlemagne Award.
Charlemagne Award. Charlemagne Prize. If you search on the internet, European Parliament Charlemagne Prize, you can find all the information. If you are eligible, you can apply, and if your project is good, then you can be selected.